Today, we're counting down some of the longest matches in esports history. We're making sure to cover the big ones first, but spoiler alert, make sure you stay to the end of the video to see what a real marathon gaming session looks like. Let's kick things off with CSGO. The longest professional game in CSGO history was supposed to be a blowout. The last time Team Xenex and Excel Esports met in the ESL UK Premiership, it was a 16-1 affair for Team Xenex. What should have been a walk in the park instead turned into an 88-round monstrosity on Inferno. Here's how things broke down. Team Xenex took half up 10-5 and then won several rounds on T-side, bringing the score to 14-8. With the map pretty much in the bag, they took their foot off the pedal for just a moment, and Excel took that opportunity to win 5 straight. After a few back and forth rounds, the score reached 15-13 for Xenex, and after Excel managed to squeak out 2 more wins, we found ourselves in an overtime situation.
They are going to overtime, and they are. Andrew takes down Mole, and now it's 15-15 and overtime.
The rounds went back and forth, over and over, but neither team could secure the 3-round victory needed to win the map. 21-21, 24-24, 33-33, 40-40. It was starting to look more like a tennis match than a game of CSGO. Every time it seemed like one team was going to take it, the other came back. Eventually, every player in the game exceeded 50 kills.
Can you blow that up a little? Enhance.
Every player exceeded 50 kills.
So that was a fucking lie.
And after nearly 3 hours had passed, Team Xenex finally managed to win the map 46-42.
And Pulse 57. And Pulse will get the round, and that's the end of it. 46 rounds versus 32. Xenex Esports will take this
first map in the best of 3 in the ESL UK.
Next up, League of Legends. LCK 2018 Spring, Jin Air Green Wings versus multi-time world champions SKT T1. With the set tied at 1-1, Game 3 would decide this early season barn burner, but no one expected that they were about to witness history. Even though T1 was the better team on paper, by a long shot, Jin Air still had their star ADC, Park Teddy Jinseong, who had, in the past, single-handedly dragged his team to victory on countless occasions. After dominating SKT in Game 2, Teddy Sivir was the team's last line of defense against T1, who seemed poised for victory by the 30-minute mark. Now, we should set some context. The start of Season 8 was a wild time, and the meta continued to create long, drawn-out games as teams tried to scale up with strong wave clear and unkillable frontlines. And 40 to 50-minute games were the norm. Game 1 and 2 of this match alone were 46 and 52 minutes long respectively, and Game 3 was no different. While SKT were able to get picks and slowly push Jin Air all the way to their nexus, they couldn't quite finish off Teddy, leading to a prolonged stalemate. The game turned into a battle of attrition, where neither side had the tools to earn a decisive teamfight win. Each team's CS kept escalating as waves and waves of minions pushed into Jin Air's base, and Teddy eventually ended the game with 1,465 CS, a record that will likely never be broken. As the game stretched on, the commentators, Chris Papa Smithy Smith and Seth Achilleos King, kept viewers engaged despite the timer passing an hour and a half.
Well, we broke, 1,100 CS for Teddy.
I'm angry now. Wraith still doesn't have a damn Ornn upgrade. We're 70 minutes in!
We're gonna have to pull him aside and have a word with that man after this game.
The seemingly interminable game finally concluded when Faker was picked off at 93 minutes.
Certain who will win is...
Oh.
This is gonna be a lot of damage.
Faker, yeah, so much damage. Sonya's gonna go out. He's gonna have to try to get out of here just for good measure. Another redemption coming through, but Umpty chases in. One more hit! He takes him down. The solo kill from Umpty, not even losing the Guardian Angel.
And Jin Air pushed through, taking down SKT in the longest game in League of Legends history, 94 minutes and 37 seconds.
Jin Air, enjoy that win, because you deserve it.
Next up,
thanks for playing Dota 2. I'm very proud of you.
Dota 2 games have always been long, and despite Valve's efforts to make them more concise, they sometimes get out of hand. In 2015, one such occasion occurred when Cloud9 was facing off against Scary Faces, and it turned into a 3-hour and 20-minute marathon that literally broke the game. Star Series Season 12, Europe and CIS. C9 were the favorites, with players like No-Tail and Eternal Envy. At first, the game seemed to follow everyone's expectations. C9 drafted Chen and Anti-Mage, and they took their first barracks at 40 minutes. Looking poised to finish the game relatively quickly, a teamfight at the 53-minute mark turned the tide in favor of Scary Faces, and they managed to dig in their defenses. Over the next hour, things started to get weird. In terms of meta, players on both sides started experimenting. Scary Faces dropped Gems of True Sight in front of their Ancient instead of Sentries. Envy began carding a gem and Heart of Tarak to swap in after popping BKB. Disruptor was running Mask of Madness? It was strange. It didn't help that casters Owen OD Pixel Davies and Kevin Purge Godek were almost unable to handle the length of the game. They resorted to playing dramatic music during teamfights.
Any moment now they're going. Visuals used.
Yes, it's a fight. BKB's pulled. Ignore. BKB's no Eternal Envy. He's getting so low. He's gonna go down. That's a kill. Oh no, Static Storm onto post 7. In come the punches. There's the side. He's dead as well. 2 heroes down and no, stop the music. We'll reset. Right, okay.
Tried pleading with the game to let it end, and let their madness slip into their commentary.
Just the possibility of the game ending just seems... It's not gonna happen.
Do we get a bathroom break or?
Even the Dota 2 engine suffered glitches. Bristleback literally set on fire at random points throughout the game.
Look at that! Look at this! What is this?
I can't see that.
Look at mid lane!
Oh, this burning.
Look! Oh look, he's on fire! What is going on?
The players themselves even started negotiating with each other. Thankfully, just as the match crested 3 hours, Scary Faces managed to push into C9's base and actually finish them off.
Mister is going for the Pier 4. There's Hero Blade. Thunder. Can he do it? Can he stop it? Big Daddy with his Divine Rapier. No. The damage is enough. Bristleback's down. Disruptor trying to TP out. He gets away. They're trying to chase down the rest. But Bristleback, he bites back. He TP's back into the fight. They're going to go for the Tier 4s. They're on the Ancients. There isn't any fortification. It's going to be GG. SMC. They win. They win the game. Oh my god.
You know what that means? We're going to game 3, baby. Let's do it. Game 3, here we come.
Okay, let's move into some RTS games.
You require more Vespine gas.
Starting with Starcraft 2. Firecake versus Mana in the WCS European Challenger League. For context, most games of Starcraft 2 take an average of 20 minutes. This Zerg versus Protoss duel went on for more than 3 hours. The reason was this. Firecake, playing Zerg, had the Swarm host, which spawns free locusts and infestors that summon infested marines, which gave him enough trash units to hold off any major attacks. On the other hand, Protoss late game units are incredibly strong, but also expensive and squishy, meaning that a full frontal assault is a huge risk. So, with Firecake's enormous army, and Mana's strong but fragile army, the two players danced around each other on the outskirts of the map for hours.
Whoa, hang on. This is actually a really important thing, Penguin. Yes. Everyone, look at the screen and look at the game time. This is a massive bug. The game time clock is not wide enough in this custom overlay to display the time this game has gone on for correctly.
Much like the Dota 2 match we just talked about, the commentators were the first to go.
Protoss Pro players propose propagating pylons perpetually forward. Protoss Pro players propose propagating pylons perpetually forward. Protoss Pro players propose propagating pylons perpetually forward. I'll now copy paste it to you in Skype so you can try.
Eventually, Firecake depleted the map's resources and gained the upper hand by starving out Mana's Protoss of Vespine gas. When all was said and done, this more than 3-hour-long professional StarCraft 2 game will likely go down as history as the longest of all time. Okay, 94 minutes, 3 hours, whatever. These are long games, but they're peanuts compared to our next match. Competitive Age of Empires 2 games usually last around 20 to 30 minutes. Once one side has a distinct advantage, it's usually better to resign than play a lost position. But that didn't happen during this ranked ladder match between Rubenstock and Andre 2i. After a scrappy Dark and Feudal Age featuring a tower rush and a wave of belligerent villagers rampaging into a base, the game slowed down as both players vied for map control. With neither able to get an upper hand, they boomed through the Castle Age, and once they basically had all of their tech, into the Post-Imperial Age. Around here is when things started to get weird, because Age of Empires 2 maps have a finite amount of resources. The trees were the first to go. With no more wood, it's impossible to do two things: construct new buildings and reseed farms for food. With the wood gone and the food quickly running out, there are only two ways that the players could keep their economies running: sell what resources they had for gold, a useless task due to market inflation, or collect gold through relics stored in monasteries. At this point, Ruben has a higher population, but only one relic. Andre has fewer units, but 2 relics, meaning if this went on for long enough, he'd win due to his better economy. So, both players change up their strategies and destroy each other's monasteries. With no wood to construct a new monastery, gold was officially off the table too. As the hours rolled on, 10, 15, 20, the players needed to take breaks to, survive. Both players tried to make the most of their opponent's absence, sniping units and buildings where they could. It reached a point where both sides had very few units left, and it looked like a stalemate. However, there was one win condition. Rubenstock figured out that he could aggro the castle with one of his hussars, micro them back and forth to dodge the arrows from the castle, and allow his other units to get in close and chip away at the stone walls. The catch? Ruben had to do so while Andre was sleeping. If Andre woke up and saw what was happening, he'd be able to manually select the castle to attack the hussars at the base and repel the attack. Fortunately for Ruben, Andre didn't wake up in time, and he managed to take down one of his 2 castles. However, as Ruben was about halfway through Andre's second and last castle, Andre returned and saved himself from what would have been certain defeat.
See you tomorrow, guys.
With both players now holding a single castle and town center, it became a waiting game. There was no way to win while your opponent was awake, but also no way to lose if you were awake. From here on out, the game would no longer be recorded in minutes or hours. Now, it was recorded in days. Eventually, Ruben stopped trying to attack Andre's base, and we pushed into the 2-day mark, the 3-day mark, the 4th day mark. Shortly after we reached day 4 of the stalemate, it came to an end. Ruben had gone away for the weekend, and Steam apparently lost connection, giving Andre the victory.
Have a nice weekend, everyone, because I will have one for myself.
Both players admitted that if they hadn't been streaming, they might not have had the motivation to battle for more than 97 hours straight. And while Ruben might have lost in the end, being a part of the single longest ranked match in AoE 2 history is something to be proud of. Shouts out to Cloud, Steph, B, Pass, Shampoo, and Yashichi for being patrons of the channel. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell to stay up to date is much appreciated. My name is Jonah. Thanks for watching.